What keeps someone from cheating? I have read and heard from seemingly reputable sources that all men, or at least most, are predisposed to be with many women, to want to spread their seed. It begins a psychological and genetic drive in them. Given the many differences between men and women, I don't necessarily dispute this. But what I'm wondering is this: if so many men feel that drive, that urge, what separates men who cheat from the men who do not? For those men who don't cheat, I know there are many who would not ever do it, even if they knew they wouldn't get caught. So what do they don't have, that keeps them from cheating? Thank you, Rick. Kind of a complicated question, but to me, it's commitment. There's a difference between I'm going to try to be faithful and I want to be faithful, I need to be faithful, versus I promise you I will be faithful. And it's easy to be committed in a relationship when your mate's everything you want. Then I can be committed to my mate. When my mate's not what I want and it's hard, then I can be committed to my family. But there are times when it's really hard and you're not getting anything back, and at that point, someone with integrity is committed to their commitment. So somebody with a strong sense of integrity in terms of commitment, that is one aspect that's important. Even though willpower is not enough, a second factor that I believe is huge is who their friends are. There are people in our culture, there are lots of accomplices, people who will, within maybe a work group or whatever, where monogamy isn't really valued. But if you're surrounded with people where monogamy is highly valued and you've got friends who encourage you that direction, certainly having a culture that predisposes you to that is going to be absolutely huge. Another factor that allows people to stay committed, I think, has to do with how they grew up and early childhood factors, such as if someone, like for instance a Red Book study, if a woman is sexual at 15, first sex 15 or below, 43 or 47% of those women will end up having affairs, while those who are sexual 21 or above, only 17%. So there were factors in terms of the importance of their sexuality, I think, that are set up in those cases that keep them, I think it makes it easier or more likely that they'll stay committed. If you grew up in a family where someone was unfaithful, they may be, really committed in their marriage, but it predisposes, it's a risk factor for them being unfaithful. So I think there are environmental factors, I think there are historical factors, and I think there are integrity factors. And if you have risk factors like early sex, lots of partners, whatever, or grew up as a golden child with a lot of entitlement, or if I think you had parents who were unfaithful, you need to be aware that you're at a higher risk. And so for someone to stay committed, they need to make sure that they're surrounded by the right type of people, in the right types of groups, and that they're wary, that in the long run, they know what they want, so they set up the environment to make sure that can happen for them.